So last week, we talked about the various handhelds that are coming out this year. Um, None of them being the Nintendo Switch 2. We will get to that because it was officially revealed, but we'll get to that later. So we have the Legion Go line in particular making a huge presence at CES 2025 this year with the Lenovo Legion Go S, the Lenovo Legion Go S SteamOS version, which is going to be in a nicer purplish color, which I might actually get for myself. That actually, it looks so sleek. And the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which is, going to be the big upgrade with that Z2 Extreme chip. Speaking of the Z2 series, these handhelds will be powered by those Z2 chips. So you have the Lenovo Legion Go 2 being powered by the Ryzen Z2 Extreme, which is going to be the big upgrade. Obviously, it's going to be a huge boost from the Z1 Extreme. But further down, you have the Ryzen Z2 Basic, and we have the Ryzen Z2 Go. And the Ryzen Z2 seems like it'll be a decent boost even from the Z1 Extreme, so it'll be about on par. But what was very strange is that there was a Ryzen Z2 Go that was announced. And apparently, this is exclusive to the Legion Go line of handhelds, particularly on the Legion Go S end. But the Legion Go S also has a Z1 Extreme version, which I think, in terms of marketing and people going to Best Buy to go buy a Legion Go S, is going to be very confusing for a lot of people. And for me, it was really confusing too. I know the Z2 Go is supposed to have, more efficiency in terms of power and overall better battery compared to even something like the Z1 Extreme. But if it's less powerful, I just don't know why they would bother, especially if they're going with the Z2 and the Z1 Extreme for these Legion Go S's. It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Maybe price-wise it makes sense to keep the price down. But you also have the fact that it's kind of confusing for consumers because 2, it's a bigger number than 1, and I know there's the Extreme at the end of the Z1, but I don't know. It's just confusing. I don't get why they did it the way they did it. They probably could have just had a Z2 basic model instead for the Legion Go S, but I don't know. I definitely had a little aside there last week where I was just like, this is just really confusing. But one thing we can say is that the Z2 Go will actually hold its own to a degree. In addition to, having the battery efficiency, apparently it's not that much less powerful than the ROG Ally X. And so from Tom's Hardware here, we have them talking about a video made by FPSVN. I have their video right here. We won't go too far into it. I'll leave you guys to watch the video. Go support this guy. I'll subscribe to him too now. But it seems like that there's only like a 10% difference between power between the Z2Go chip and the Z1 Extreme chip, particularly when comparing the Legion Go S to the ROG Ally X. And this is somewhat relieving in a way because it kind of gives you more of a reason to buy the January model that has Windows on it if you really want to get it early, that you're not losing much in terms of power, but also you get a more efficient system when it comes to battery. So that's kind of a relief in a way. I still think it's incredibly confusing, but we can actually probably look into some of the numbers here. It seems like in Blackmouth Wukong, there's not much of a difference. You have the Legion Go S like trailing behind slightly the ROG Ally X, and we can also look at some of the specs down here that a lot of the benchmarks that they tested between games, that there's only like a couple frames difference on specific wattages and all these other things. So it seems like it's not going to be that big of a difference, but even then, that still makes it more confusing. Why not just make it one chip? Why not just make it the Z2Go chip and, just say, oh, hey, this is our very battery efficient version. It's about as powerful as the Z1 Extreme, but it has really great battery. And then you could save maybe the Z2 for the Legion Go 2, or maybe even have a Z2 model of the S model eventually. I don't know. It was overall very confusing. And while the performance issues that we might have undergone if was less powerful, aren't present anymore. Like, we actually have, solid evidence that the Z2Go chip is going to hold its own in a way. I don't know. It's still confusing. Uh, because you have these different models. You have the SteamOS model, you have the Windows model in white, but then you have the different chip models. So someone's going to go to Best Buy. They're going to realize they bought the less powerful one. And, like, there's obviously going to be price differences. Like, the Z1 Extreme model will probably be $600 compared to the Z2Go SteamOS version being $500. It's definitely super confusing, but thankfully we got a little bit of clarity on what the Z2Go is actually capable of, at least. So I'm grateful for that. And hopefully people who go to pick up their Legion Go S this month, or I think in February is when the Windows version is supposed to come out, that they're pleasantly surprised by the performance.